Hey, it's Bill here with Brick Brigade 99. In today's video, we're going to answer a question that I get all the time. It is, how do you know what to pay for a certain minifigure or a certain set? Or the opposite, how do you know what to charge for a certain minifigure or a certain set? There are all kinds of information out there. Everybody seems to have an opinion, but I'm going to show you one of the ways that I have found over the last 26 years of reselling online that I have found to be very accurate, very reliable, and very dependable. So stay tuned to the end because you don't want to miss out. So maybe you're like me, maybe you like to buy Lego. Well, maybe that's not true. Maybe you're like me and you like to buy a lot of Lego. Or maybe you just want to know what the value of the Lego you already have is worth. Maybe you're a reseller and you've heard about buying Lego for investment, but you really don't know where to begin. You're feeling a little overwhelmed, maybe a little intimidated. Well, no matter your situation, this video is going to help you to simplify and understand what Lego is worth using just one website. Now, that particular website is called Bricklink.com. Now, this video isn't sponsored by Bricklink at all. I'm not affiliated with Bricklink. I don't receive any paid endorsements or anything like that from them. This is just something that I found that I'm going to share with you guys to help you out. However, Bricklink, if you're listening and you want to work out a partnership, hit me up. So what is Bricklink.com? Well, obviously it's a website. It's a global online marketplace where buyers and sellers can interact and research and exchange parts. Obviously it's a business, so there's money involved. It's actually owned by the Lego Group. It was initially started by an individual. I'll put his name on the screen. I forgot it off the top of my head. I believe he's passed away. Lego owns the website now. So when you think Bricklink.com, Lego owns it. They're getting a percentage of the sales. So one of the great things about Bricklink.com is that you can shop for and look up anything from a simple 1x1 round stud to retired sets like Cloud City to the most seemingly obscure parts to minifigures and all of their various components, because as you may or may not know, Lego is modular, all the way from arms into hands and hands into arms to arms into torsos to torsos into legs to legs into hips. It is extremely modular. You can customize Lego in thousands of different combinations. That's one of the reasons why it's so popular and it's so amazing. If you need, say, a sand green hand, you can go to Bricklink. If you need the Cloud City set or you want to know what it's worth or certain figures, what they're worth, you can go to Bricklink. Basically, if you need it and it's Lego, it's there. Or at least there's a database there where you can go and look up what it belongs to, what set number it belongs to, what minifigure it is, prices for what they've sold over 6 months, over a year, over certain stretches of time. You can refine it to certain countries. If you, say, live in Italy and you want to buy something that's within your country, you can only limit it to, say, people that are in Italy, sellers that are in Italy. Basically, if it's a Lego part or even if it's discontinued, you can find it on Bricklink. One of the greatest features of Bricklink is that you can use it as a buyer's guide. If you know the secrets, and that's what we're going to discuss. I'm going to show you some of the ins and outs, some of the ways to refine it and to use it to your advantage, because a lot of people know about Bricklink, but they don't really know how to use it properly. So if you do, awesome. Maybe you can chime in the comments with some tips that maybe I missed, because this is going to be a relatively short video. It's not comprehensive of all of the ins and outs of Bricklink. I know there's a lot of amazing, super knowledgeable Lego fans out there that know way more than I do. And I'm humble. If you know something that I don't, please, by all means, teach me. I want to know it, so put it in the comments. But for the rest of us, hopefully this helps you out somewhat. So with that being said, let's get into it. Okay, so here's Bricklink. Taking a look at the website. Now again, there's currently no app for this. You have to use the website itself. This video is not a comprehensive overview. It's not all encompassing. It's not a complete description of what Bricklink is. It's simply a video to show or highlight how to accurately find value of Lego that you either want to buy or sell. So once you're here, you obviously want to head over to the search bar. I'm using the little pointer highlighter here so that way you guys can see it. Let's look up something that's pretty popular right now. So right now, I know with the upcoming release of Andor, Shore Troopers have been really popular. So let's type in Shore Trooper. Hit enter. So you get some search results. We scroll down here and we're looking for the minifigure section. So here is the most expensive, most valuable Shore Trooper. It's just the Scarab Stormtrooper from Rogue One. Let's click on this. So the first thing you're going to see here is there's a lot of information about the year it was released, all different types of specifics, parts, what's made up of the set that it comes in, all types of information down here. But for now, let's focus on right here where it says view price guide. So if we click on this, brings us to this big page that has a lot more information, which at first glance can seem to be pretty overwhelming. But there's really a couple of things that you want to look at. However, before we start looking at any of the data, we want to go over here to this link that says group by currency. Otherwise, we're going to be looking at all of the different currencies of every different listing or sold item for this figure that is on Bricklink. So we want to group it by currency. So we want to, for me, it's dollar. You can change the unit, the quantity, the price, all of those things you can group by all different types of factors. But for me, I live in the United States, I deal in dollars, so it makes more sense to convert this to dollars. Most importantly, you'll see over here, you have a group of 6 months sales. So these are actual data that has been compiled that shows the 6 months sales for this particular Scarif Stormtrooper. So there have been 38 items sold, 58 in total. The minimum that it's sold for, the average price, quantity average price, and then the max price that one has sold for. And that's in used condition. Then you have the same data over here, but the set is for new condition. Flip over to here on this side, you can see the current items for sale. So then you also have new and used. So you can see someone is selling a Shore Trooper for $122 brand new, and the cheapest max used price is $54.88. So that information can be very helpful in trying to determine or set the right price for what either you want to pay for the figure or what you think you should be charging for the figure. However, what comes next is what I like to call the secret sauce of Bricklink. So stay tuned here. Let's click back. We're going to go back up here to the item listing, and then we're going to scroll down here to where it says seller ships to. The first thing we're going to do is change that to whatever country you're in. I'm in the US, changing it to the US. I pretty much try to buy almost exclusively new figures or sell almost exclusively new figures because there's enough of them around and you have the fewest amount of headaches. And generally they fetch a higher price than a used figure does. And you don't have all the headaches of is there a scratch, is there swing wear, all that stuff. So I changed this to new. And the real trick here is I have it set to ships to me in the US, the condition I want. But you gotta go over here to more options. Click on that, and that reveals this little subset here. Seller location. For me, the best way I found is to switch this to the US because for a number of reasons. We'll get into that in a second. For now, I'm going to show you what happens if you leave it on anywhere. If you leave this on, the location of the item that's being sold is anywhere in the globe that Bricklink allows sales to. So I'm going to hit search, and this results are going to be lowest prices to highest prices. So you'll see the first price, the lowest, cheapest price that I can get this Scarif Stormtrooper stated as brand new is in Singapore, and it costs $31.50 US. Now that seems like a good price. However, you have to consider the fact that there are other factors involved. There are taxes.
It's the worst part of the game. Is what? Taxes.
There are fees. Now there are quite possibly tariffs involved, and there's also the cost of global or international shipping. And each seller charges different rates for what they charge for shipping. So while this $31.50 is a good price for a brand new Scarif Trooper, it's not going to be the final price that you pay. And it's also coming from Singapore. Singapore to the US, chances are it's probably going to take about a month for it to get to me. So let's see, for comparison's sake, let's go to $31.50. We remember that price, $31.50. We're going to change back up here. We're going to go to seller location, click this little radio button. So now we're looking at only sellers in the United States. Reset our search, click search, scroll down. Now the cheapest is this seller, Ridgeway Bricks, don't know them, but they're charging $35 for a brand new Stormtrooper versus $31.50 coming from Singapore. I don't know about you, but I'm going to be willing to bet that it's going to be a whole lot cheaper to buy this one from Ridgeway at $35 versus ordering it for $31.50 from Singapore. When you factor in taxes, fees, potential tariffs, cost versus shipping from the US versus shipping from Singapore, and then you factor in the time it's going to take to get to you. It's going to be way, way shorter to come from wherever this person is in the US versus Singapore. It just has to. So those are a lot of reasons why it's important to really know how to accurately and appropriately use the settings within Bricklink. Now, another reason why I personally like using this second method better than just using the price guide is because I've had people come to me either during my Whatnot live stream auctions or contact me through, listings on Bricklink and say, on eBay, and say, I searched on Bricklink and I found this figure for $31.50. Can you match that price? Say if I'm asking $35, say if I'm Ridgeway and I'm selling this for $35 and someone contacts me and they say, well, I can get it for $31.50 on Bricklink. Well, while it shows there's $31.50 for a price on Bricklink, you're really going to pay way more than that. So it helps me as a seller to know that I'm charging a fair price, an accurate price, a realistic price for what I can expect to get for that figure. I use that information to set my prices. And the opposite, when I'm sourcing materials or sourcing Lego, I use the same logic to find the best prices when I'm calculating, well, what is this going to cost me when all is said and done? So those are different ways that I have found where I can use Bricklink effectively, efficiently, to both get the best prices, set the best prices, and not set an item too expensive that's going to sit on my shelf for an indefinite amount of time because I didn't price it properly. So for me, that's what I have found to be super helpful using this website. I hope you guys have found that helpful too. If you have, please drop us a like, please hit the subscribe button, and please watch some of our other videos because we're going to give away some big items, some big free gifts. But we need you guys to watch the videos. We need you to watch them to the end so that way we can get our watch time up. Because once we get a certain threshold, it's 4,000 watch hours, then we're going to give away something really nice, either like a $200 gift card, a $200 figure, $200 set, something really nice to say thank you for helping us to reach our goal. So we really appreciate you guys. Thanks so much for watching. And if you have found something on here where you think you can add a tip that wasn't covered, which you probably do have a tip, because there's a lot of really knowledgeable Lego fans that follow our channel, and we're really thankful and appreciative of that. Like I said at the beginning, I love to learn about Lego, so teach me something. Help me out to help the community, the Lego community out. We're a really tight community, and that's one of the awesome things about Lego. Post in the comment section below something that you have learned from either buying and selling on Bricklink that can help others. So we really appreciate you guys watching. Here's a video that YouTube thinks that you're going to really like, and then here's a video from one of our really popular playlists. Again, thanks so much for watching. We hope to see you on the next one.